But yeah, I would bet my house on it. At least some of it is. I mean, I'm sure some of it's like advanced technology that we possess. The U.S. government clearly does possess a lot of technology that is not publicly known about or available or only in fragments. I mean, that's clearly true. You've done a lot on this. I mean, that's why I first reached out to you, because you did such an amazing segment on that. I was like shocked by it, how great it was. That's why I'm sitting here. So you know all this. And clearly that's part of it, but there are other things that are clearly not, that baffle the U.S. government. Here's what I'm really surprised by, and I've actually stopped gathering string on, as we say in reporting, stopped gathering string in this, gathering information, because I'm satisfied that I know enough, and I don't really want to know that much more. Because what I think I know is, this doesn't help me at all to know that. So that's the conclusion I've reached. I'm usually pretty curious. I've stopped being curious about this because I don't want to know anymore. But
you truly don't want to know anymore about it.
I think I know. I think I know what's up. So I can't prove it, so probably not going to articulate it, but I think I know what's up, yeah. But
can you articulate it?
Well, I think it's a really old story. I think it's a really old story. So that's what I think.
What is it?
Well, one, I'm a Christian, and I am fairly sincere about it. I try to be sincere about it. More sincere than ever, for sure. But one thing that you notice about every world religion I'm familiar with, I'm interested in that topic, there are commonalities between religions. Jesus is unique, and I believe in Jesus. So I don't believe in any kind of pantheology, okay? I don't think they're all equal or anything like that. I think mine is correct. I think that. Sorry. But there are commonalities that are very striking between all world religions I'm aware of and all creation myths. And one of them, and this is of course true for Christianity, very true, is that the belief that supernatural beings take physical form. They all believe that. The Greek myths, Jesus, most famously, but that they take physical form, that they're not just like some ethereal, they're not just shadows floating around, specters, fog, that they're physical. Like they're as real as the arm of your chair. And that they reproduce with people. Again, Christianity believes that. Jesus, Immaculate Conception, Spirit reproduces with human woman. That's what the story is. And it's described in Genesis as well, in Genesis 6. Again, it's not just the religion of the ancient Hebrews or the religion of the modern Christians. It's Hinduism as well, and the animist religions, the religions of, to the extent we understand them or know about them, of the American Indians, all the same. So if every culture in the world that we know about, has left any kind of written or physical record, is reaching the same conclusions about something, maybe there's something there. Mm-hmm. And maybe it's not so crazy to think that what everyone else has always thought since the beginning of time, which that there is this combination in cases of human beings and the spiritual realm, whatever that is. I can speak about it with no precision at all because I don't understand the specifics of it, but I know that it has been written about since people have been writing. And so it's a little weird to think that in 1945, really the day we dropped that first bomb on Hiroshima, from then until now, it's just a speck of time in the continuum of history. For that one period, we've assumed that's not true, but everyone else has always assumed it is true. I'm kind of going with everyone else on that, just on the odds, okay? It's a very long-winded way of answering your question, but I think that's kind of what we're looking at. I think there's some evidence that that's real. So, and I don't want to fully articulate it because it sounds like so out of the realm, but it's not out of anyone else's realm. In fact, it was at the very center of everyone else's realm until like just the other day. So I don't think it's a crazy thing to think, and I happen to believe that's true. So whatever, but I can't prove it. So I'm certainly not an evangelist on the subject at all, and I also don't know how that helps anybody to say it. So I've tried not to talk about it because I don't know it's true, and I don't really know what you do about it if it is.
What was
other
it
than
that
say your prayers?
What was it that what was it that led you to believe?
Talking to a lot of people. I got really interested in it, and since that is my job, that's literally my job, is to call people and see them and have dinner with them and talk to them. And that's what I've done my whole life. So it's like that's just natural for me. It's not a hobby. It's my profession. I hate to use the word reporting because it's been so discredited by the liars. Oh, we've done a lot of reporting here at NBC News. We've done a lot of reporting. Fucking liar. You talk to some flack at CIA who told you a bunch of lies, which you're now repeating to me and my kids. So shut up. You haven't done any reporting. I hate to use the word reporting, but just like satisfying your curiosity by trying to identify who might know, talking to a bunch of people about it, assessing who's telling the truth. Maybe they're wrong anyway, but you can kind of feel whether someone's telling the truth. And there are ways to know, or to get closer to knowing whether someone's telling the truth. And just talk to a lot of people. And I've done that because I got really interested in it, sort of by accident. I never thought I'd be interested in this at all. And so I talked to a lot of people, and I was really shocked by what credible people told me. They could all be wrong, of course. I can't prove it.
Yeah. But
I became completely satisfied, I'll say that they were not lying and that they were right or in the vicinity of right. I always assume the details are wrong. I was a police reporter for a while, and you interview someone like a shooting. You've obviously seen shootings, but most people don't see shootings. So you think if you saw a shooting, you'd like to remember every detail of the shooting. They get them all wrong. People aren't good at detail. Okay, that's just true. But they are good at themes. They're good at themes. Like, they remember the guy's fat. He may have been 400 pounds. He may have been 280. He was fat. Like, if everyone says the guy was fat, he was fat. Mm-hmm. Like, that's what we do. We can't say that. And so if everybody you talk to is saying, oh, this is really upsetting, I don't know what this means, but here's what I know. Here's what I heard someone say. I was at a meeting, or here's what, what I mean? It was that kind of stuff. And I didn't talk to anybody in the UFO community. I'm not even sure what that is. I know I don't trust I don't trust anybody, actually. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my job to trust people. So it's my job to assess whether what they're saying is right or not. So I talked to people who I thought had firsthand knowledge. And I talked to a number of them. And then I was like, whoa, I'm out. Because I don't need to go farther than that. I mean, I think that the real struggles are unseen. That is absolutely a part of Christian theology. I didn't fully appreciate it at all. It's a part of every theology. In fact, it is theology. That is theology. The belief that the real struggles are in the spiritual realm. That has been a constant belief since the beginning of history, recorded history. Everybody has thought that, except us in the West, since 1945. I can't say that enough. So once you get perspective on this question, you're like, okay, that may sound crazy to someone who thinks buying shit on Amazon is the meaning of life, but to every other person in the world, we may disagree about what the truth is. I'm sure we will, but we will never disagree with the fact that there's a lot of shit going on that we cannot see or measure with our senses. That is absolutely true. And of course, looking back, you have experiences, and we talked about this in great detail at breakfast. You look back and you're like, okay, that's what duh. Like, the only surprise is not that it happened, but that it took you, blockhead, so long to see it clearly, and then to admit it. There's like some. Can I say one thing and then I'll stop? I cannot keep a straight trajectory with my thinking sometimes. But what I find so striking about the UFOs, this is the main takeaway I have, is like there's this debate like, is this stuff, these phenomena, which are clearly, obviously real? I mean, there's no debate about that. There's a lot of shit that people can't explain in the sky and underwater. We know that. Fact. So the debate is this government technology? Is it from outer space, or is it some spiritual realm here? I've already told you my view of it. But what I find so interesting, we know the government's lied about it. They're lying about it now. That's a fact. There's no way around it. They've absolutely lied about it in very elaborate ways. I am really struck. Here's my current thinking on it. The main effort that the U.S. government has put into its disinformation, its lying on this topic, has been not to mislead you on the technology. Like, they're not telling me they don't have anti-gravity technology. It sounds from watching your podcast that they do, which I believe. No problem believing that. Their main interest is in convincing you that the supernatural is not real. And if you watch, and there are people in the media who specialize in spreading these lies on behalf of the government. I'm not going to name anybody, but like some of them work at the New York Times. Once you realize what the point of the exercise is, it's crazy. And I hope you'll assess all the fact-checking and the skepticism on UAPs through this lens. The main thing they want you to believe is the supernatural is not real. Well, then you have to ask yourself, like, why?
That's interesting.
It is so interesting. Why is that important to you? Why do you care if I think the supernatural is real? Like, why is that? First of all, why is it? How dare you, as my government, try to get involved in my spiritual beliefs? That's totally not your area. So get the fuck out of there, okay? A. But B, why has that been so important for 80 years for you to convince me the supernatural is not real? Why? Why is that? And of course, I can't answer the question, but my gut level response is, well, because if it is real. Whatever they're telling you is not real. And if they're punishing you for saying something you know for a fact it's not real, you're not allowed to say that. Oh, not because they don't have no problem with me lying, because they lie. They lie for a living. So lying brings no sanction. You can lie all you want. What you can't do is tell the truth. That is a fact. So once you know that, you can sort of reverse engineer their lies and know with some certainty that whatever they're telling you is not true is in fact true. That's exactly the truth. It's exactly the truth. But then you have to ask motive. Like, it's not a profit motive. Like, does it make them rich to deny that there's supernatural forces? No. What is that? And I don't know the answer. But the obvious answer is, well, because they sort of know they're working for supernatural forces, actually. And I think that's probably true. And the U.S. government is millions of people.
Is there a specific reason or a handful of reasons, or is this a hunch that you believe that they're working with the supernatural realm or have a relationship?
Well, I can't prove that. I mean, yeah. I'm suggesting that. I'm not saying it because I can't prove it, but I'm suggesting it. And if you're asking whether I believe it, the answer is yes. But I believe that for two reasons. One, because I've told that directly by a couple of people who I think seem knowledgeable. And I attach some weight to that, though not conclusive weight. I don't know, right? I don't know. I wasn't there. Maybe they're super sophisticated liars. Maybe they're telling me the same lie for some reason. Maybe it's all part of a disinformation campaign. All the geniuses on the internet, the really smart kids seem to think it's, you're falling for the disinformation campaign. Okay. Thanks, son. I know a lot about disinformation campaigns. Okay. But it's like one of my few areas of expertise, having participated in many unknowingly. So either they're totally lying or they're telling the truth. But the other reason that I think that is for the reason just stated, which is that their main goal, when I hear a bunch of lying, I want to recognize that it's lying. It's untrue. Like, I know that's untrue. Then I want to ask, what's the nature of the lie? What exactly are they trying to get me to believe or not believe? That's really important. What is it? Like, what's so important to them that they're going to all this effort, spending all this money, getting all these journalists to repeat, knowingly or not, repeat their lies? Like, why? Why are they doing that? It takes time to do that. It's a big effort to lie. It's much harder to lie than tell the truth. So why bother? And then the third question you have to ask is what is that? What does that mean? And of course, I don't know the answers, but it's very suggestive. One thing I do know, and if you look at it, if you look at like the New York Times or Popular Mechanics or any of the, I say Popular Mechanics, I may be getting that wrong. I think it's Popular Mechanics, but there are a bunch of different stories that have run over time debunking certain claims about UAPs, UFOs. And some of them are quite vehement and sophisticated and mean too. People who believe in this stuff aren't just wrong, they're crazy. They're conspiracy theorists. They're like pedophiles, kind of, in a way. I mean, that's kind of why would you attack someone for that? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm
like, why do you care? Like, I'm not a Buddhist, but I'm not mad at Buddhists.
I'm totally in line with what you're saying, and I mean, we had.
But why are they doing that?
There's just so many signs too. You know, like we had talked this morning about my experience about get slapped in the face by God, basically,
yes.
Right? And ever since then, I take a minute, I step back, and I try to find the symbolism in what I'm seeing at the moment.
Yes.
And I had told you I have a lot of, pretty much everybody on my team is extremely well versed in the Bible.
Yeah.
And they bring me up to speed in a hurry. But I mean, even just
those are the wisest people I've discovered.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.